It's Chief bonding with board games and RPGs, and here we have an expansion for Assault. So this is by designer Wolfgang Klein. We've had Wolfgang on several live episodes. This particular expansion for Assault is going to focus on tactical air and artillery support. Now, he sent a few things along with this, and by the way, this is not a paid deal or anything, but he did send the game to me. Wolfgang did send the game so I could review it. So we've got ranged fire defender, ranged fire attacker cards that he sent along with it. So some little helper cards, if I can hold on to them. So these are quite nice. He also sent a nice little message, which is cool. So don't pick the Edelweiss. So I had talked about the World War I tradition for the German mountain troops, and I'm sorry I cannot say the name, I can't pronounce it correctly. That history goes back to World War I all the way till today, and on the mountain troops uniforms, they actually have a metal pin for Edelweiss. And so that is what he sent along, and letting me know that it is illegal in Germany to pick wild-growing Edelweiss. So do not do that. It is verboten. This will go on my boonie cap that I wear, especially when I'm doing the Blade Runner role-playing game, but I like to switch hats out all the time, so I'm going to add that onto that. Back to this. So we can already see we've got our air and different types of artillery for this expansion. We'll flip it over. The box includes, so we'll be looking at a rule book, 2-player aids, 24 tactical air support unit cards. So those that don't know, the game uses cards. In the normal, I haven't seen obviously the inside of this, you have a card that depicts the unit. So if you have a recon unit, maybe you have 3 recon units, but you would have one card, but that card would tell you the rules for each of the 3 recon units you have. And this system will tell you, if they're attacking, use these colored dice. Red colored dice have a higher hit probability. So you might be able to look at a certain range and say, well, these recons at close range have a greater hit probability. You then roll the dice and it tells you everything you need to know. So let's see if we can get in here. So obviously, if we're using air, I'm curious, how they work in with the system. And Wolfgang's talked about it. Let me get this out of the shrink. So it's out of the shrink. We had Wolfgang on the show and he talked about a little bit how the system works. The other nice thing is this system, Wolfgang says he has a tendency to keep throwing the rock forward. So let it be known that the system is actually built for expansions and different theaters of combat and things of that nature. So that's really a neat thing for growth. All right, we will take these out of the shrink wrap here in a little bit. So we'll set this aside for now, but we will come back to it. Let's see what else is inside the box here. All right, we'll get everything free. Let me get that out of the way. And let's flip back over. So we have the iconic red for the Eastern Front, of course, Red Horizon 41, 1941 Barbarossa. So we can see we're all color. Nice little breakdown. We'll have an explanation of the cards. I will come back and do a more in-depth look at this a little bit later. But this again is just a little flip through. So we have a scenario here. How many of these do we have? There's some more. Wow, several. Very nice. Let me see if I can get this. Okay, there we go. All right. They're coming. How many pages total? 19, 20, counting the back page. All right, let's clear that out. Front side, so these looks like grass hexes that have taken some light barrage artillery and maybe heavy, which would, or are these forest? I think those might be forest with some type of shell holes. Yep, I think that's what we're depicting. And I'm curious, the shell holes you would think would provide maybe some additional cover. I wonder if that's what those are depicting or if it's just for atmosphere. Offboard artillery support. All right. And of course, the flip side, as you saw there, was this tactical air support. So, flip side, offboard artillery, and air. All right, let's take a look at these cards. I should show, because I like to, how easy do these punch out. So we'll just do one hand, and look at that. Nice and easy. Punch out. Thick and strong. Let's pull these out. All right, as I pull these out, I should have said earlier, if I didn't, this is a expansion for a tactical war game. Assault is a tactical war game. So it means you're going to be right down at the squad level, fire team level of action. So we have command cards here. Let's see, all the way through. Yes. So let's take a look here. Artillery strike. All right, so what's interesting is where the colored die come into effect here. So if we're going against the tank, you can say I'd be rolling 2 green dice and a blue. And if it was against a gun, a field gun, or infantry, it's 2 yellow and 2 green. And I don't remember what these symbols are, or they're new symbols, so we'd have to look at them. But obviously, artillery tells you artillery strike supply phase for the Russians. So let's just flip through these quick, and I'll let them just kind of visually speak for themselves. Same, okay. All right, we'll just flip through. I know some of them are the same or very similar. Here's an airstrike. Interesting. Looking forward to reading the little supplemental rules. Nice little strafing run. Ooh, a Stuka. And you can see how much more deadly that Stuka attack is than just a standard strafing run. That screaming siren on there. Some Junkers 88s. You can see again, just by the simple color code, not quite as good as that directed Stuka attack. At least against armor. Some BF-110s. There we go, BF-109s. All the way through. Very nice. So it's quick. Bonding with board games. Chief.